9-2, 5 Finnegan Free, and number 18 Jimmy Greenspoon, nice name. Number 8 Tell the Nipper, 10-1. Number 1 Mr. Dow Jones is 12-1. Number 4 this is Concerto Collins, that one is 12-1 also, and 7 Rectory Garden, same price. 2 Skip and Time, 14-1. Number 17 Go Away Out of That is 14s. Number 19 Longston Lad, 14-1. 13 Call It a Day, of course he was placed in a Grand National. 14 Class of 92 is 16-1. 15 Forbidden Waters, he is also a 16-1 chance.
Side of Mr. Dow Jones, followed by Call It a Day in third. Then in fourth place behind these comes Power and Glory. He's followed by Class of 92. Sacatina around the outside of Rectory Garden. Newton Point is in behind the leaders on the inside in about 8th place as they come down the straight now towards the next plain fence. And as they pick up here, Mr. Dow Jones rising in front from Blanville on the inside and Call It a Day towards his outside. Now they come towards the next open ditch. Field still standing as they come onto it. Mr. Dow Jones is going to lead him over. Blanville on his inside. Then comes Call It a Day close up with Power and Glory and Class of 92. White colours of Rectory Garden showing towards the outside. Power and Glory just in behind them with Newton Point and Money Man. Sacatina, the noseband, towards the outside in about 8th place. Then followed by Skip and Time. Then comes Tell the Nipper. On the inside of these is Finnegan Tree, who's in about 12th place. Jimmy Greenspoon in the middle of the field in these stages. In behind him, and we've lost one there on the inside. The first fall in the race, Finnegan Tree is out of it. Finnegan Tree out of the race as they come over the water jump with Mr. Dow Jones and Blanville still sharing the lead. 3 clear of Rectory Garden, who in turn is 3 clear of Call It a Day. Power and Glory takes it in 5th. Newton Point is 6. Tell the Nipper is 7. Class of 92 on his outside is in 8th place. Sacatino being pushed along, and then comes Money Man and Skip and Time and Jimmy Greenspoon. Longstone Lad is in behind him. That one is then followed by Ballyhackamore as they make their way onto the far side. Fred's Boy is getting reminders. Concerto Collins has never been in the race, nor too Mr. Max. Behind them is Twin Falls and Barton Rose and Gateway out of that. They haven't been in the race either. And dropping back now is the Grey and being pulled up. Ballier Boy as the leaders take the first down the far side. And Mr. Dow Jones it is who's out in front by a couple of lengths to Blanville. And at that fence there was a very bad mistake by Mr. Max, but he's recovered and still goes on as the leader, Mr. Dow Jones, takes him to the open ditch. A couple clear of Blanville, who put in the better leap there and gets closer. They're gone 5 clear of Rectory Garden and Call It a Day. Tell the Nipper being pushed along in 5. Then comes Jimmy Greenspoon making steady progress up into 6. He goes past Newton Point in 7 as the leaders take the middle one down the far side. Still Mr. Dow Jones, and in behind him is Blackamore has gone. Not Blackamore, it's Glenn Pine who has gone at that fence as they go now towards the next one down the back straight. And these 2 leaders are getting away, and Blanville putting much the better jump there. Goes on by half a length to Mr. Dow Jones, and it's a gap of a good 10 or 12 back to the rest of them. Rectory Garden leads the chasing group from Call It a Day and Jimmy Greenspoon trying to run and trying to close on the leading pair. That was the last on the far side, and little to choose on landing. And in fact, Jimmy Greenspoon has gone at the last on the far side. So the 2 leaders are clear as they turn out of the straight. Blanville and Mr. Dow Jones. These 2 have vied for the lead the whole way round, and they're a good 15-20 lengths in front of Rectory Garden, who leads the chasing group in 3rd. Call It a Day is 4. Tell the Nipper is 5. Then in behind these in 6th place is Newton Point, and with him in 7th is Class of 92, and these are a long way clear of the rest of them, but it looks a 2-horse race as they go towards the cross fence. Mr. Dow Jones and Blanville. Mr. Dow Jones landing just in front of Blanville. Much the better jump by Mr. Dow Jones, but Blanville on the flat comes back at him. Still a long way back to the 3rd horse running on is Rectory Garden, and then comes Call It a Day, then comes Tell the Nipper, and it's a long way back to the rest of them. These 2 leaders have the field well strung out as they come down the home straight with 4 more to jump. Mr. Dow Jones, the leader, and Blanville alongside him. These 2 come towards this plain fence with the races between them. Here they come at it. Blanville picks up just in front of Mr. Dow Jones, who gets reminders. There's an open ditch in front of them now. This is the third last. Blanville and Mr. Dow Jones still a long way clear of Rectory Garden and call it a day. Blanville goes to the open ditch about a length in front. He's over safely from Mr. Dow Jones, who's made a lot of the early running and is just beginning to tire now. Rectory Garden in third and Newton Point four, but Blanville beginning to assert and go clear now as he comes down towards the second last. Blanville over safely. Mr. Dow Jones is about 8 lengths back and tiring and is in danger, in fact, of being passed for second place by Rectory Garden. Newton Point is in 4, but here comes Blanville and Philip Scouller down towards the final fence. Blanville it is, out in front. Here he comes at it. And a flying leap by him. He's over safely. Mr. Dow Jones and Rectory Garden having a battle for second and third in front of Newton Point and called it a day. But Blanville comes home clear with Philip Scouller, who retired about a year ago but decided this was such a good horse. He brought his saddle out again, and now we know why. He's well clear as he comes towards the line, 20 lengths up on Rectory Garden, who's come through to take second place. Then comes Mr. Dow Jones and Newton Point, Concerto Calange, and call it a day. And the rest have.
Rode that one. Martin Pipe trained the horse, 4-1 favourite. Second, number 7, Rectory Garden, ran well, 16-1. And third, number 1, Mr. Dow Jones at 12-1. An amazing 25 rounds.